Hello, everybody. I had to pause for a second because I was about to say not old username, my main channel username. Actually, I think I might change my username so I don't, the Dion Garth Rants is probably not going to stay like that. Anyway, this is Chromas Go 018, but this is not going to be on my main channel. It's going to be on my second channel because that one's going to be for cartoons, podcasts, anything else I decide to do. Anyway, this is going to be my thoughts on the first episode of The Loud House, which you can tell by the title and the fact that you actually found it if you searched for it, so yeah. Hang on. Shit. Sorry. I had the stream open and I forgot didn't have it muted. Oh my god, that was so stupid. Yeah, he's currently streaming right now, and actually, the main reason I'm doing The Loud House is not to make him mad, but that actually is a happy bonus. But I'm actually doing this because I wanted to do something for this channel besides just the podcast, and I figured why not cartoons? And out of all the cartoons, I've only seen one episode of The Loud House, and I figured why not? Anyway, actually, once I get caught up with The Loud House, I might pick up Winx Club, because actually I loved that show growing up. But it's been so long since I've watched it, I've probably forgotten some of the stuff in it. I know a few of the main things from the show, but yeah, it will be a bit blind. It just depends. Anyway, yeah, the link to the reaction is in the description. So if you're here for the reaction, I would suggest watching it first and then coming back and watching this. That way, obviously you'll be able to, if you haven't seen the show, because when I talk about the show, I'm going to essentially be giving a recap of the show and a little bit of my thoughts on it, depending on how much I've got on it. Anyway, it was actually 2 episodes in this show, which some shows do that. Anyway, the first one, I think is Left in the Dark, was the first one in the episode, and it essentially was Lincoln Loud trying to be able to get the remote so he could watch this live season finale or newest episode or whatever of his favorite show, which I think is either a ripoff of Ghost Hunters, or I don't really know what shows are in that kind of genre because I don't really watch that stuff myself, but it seems like it'd be a ripoff of some other show. If anybody knows, please tell me. And obviously, with a house full of people like that, it must be difficult to actually watch TV if you only got one freaking TV in the whole house. Which actually, this problem would have been solved if they each had their own TV. Not a gigantic TV, obviously, but, a simple, cheap flat screen, I guess, where they could watch their own TV. That's what their parents should have done. That way they wouldn't have to worry about, that whole confusion with the remote. And being able to someone wanting to watch what they want, they wouldn't have to worry about it. But I guess they don't want to. Or maybe they can't afford to, which makes sense as well, considering there's 11 kids in the house, so it makes sense. Anyway, he's trying to essentially get all his siblings occupied so he can get down to the couch and get to the remote so he can watch the show. He almost succeeds. But he forgot about Lucy, his sister, essentially, I guess, the goth one of the family. I guess. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me. And she wanted to watch her show, which I think is, I'm guessing, a parody, or not a ripoff, a parody of possibly True Blood. I don't know. And he convinced her to go watch it on their dad's old TV, which I'm guessing is one of those really old TVs with the gigantic back that they used to have when I was growing up. And but when he tries to plug the stinking TV in, it causes the power to go out. I'm guessing because it's really old, and maybe it has a short in it or something. It causes the power to go out, which is the title Left in the Dark. And everybody's freaking out about it, and Lincoln takes charge because he has to fix this, because essentially it's his fault if the light power's out. And he had to go turn on the circuit breaker for the fuse box, and wouldn't you know it, it's in the basement. I still don't get why basements have to be so scary in this show, but I guess it is kind of scary with the power out. Anyway, yeah, we find out that his friend Leon has a gigantic crush on his oldest sister. I assume his oldest sister, Lori. And he kind of has a bit of a spaz attack, I guess would be the better word for it. And he goes right back out the door. So, anyway, they all go down to the basement because they didn't have a flashlight, but dang it, I gotta memorize all the characters' names. One of the characters ends up glowing, literally, because the genius sister of the family had made a cookie that, when it was eaten, it made his sister glow. But that wore off as they were about to go in the basement. So Lincoln goes down with a night vision setting on his sister's camera, and they all follow him because they're too scared to stay up there by themselves, which I would say stay up there because I think the basement's a lot scarier than, I guess, the kitchen that they're standing in. But anyway, yeah, they follow him down. They all get freaking out when they hear, like, the pipe settling, the cat scratching on something. I don't know what they're scratching on, or what it's scratching on. But they end up finding out that their walkie-talkie was left down there. And his friend Leon, I think it's Leon. If I'm wrong, correct me. Lincoln's friend. He ends up scaring them. Though thankfully, Lori actually gets the power back on. Thank goodness. And, well, yeah, because of all this, Lincoln misses his show. And it's made his sisters feel bad. So, yeah, that's essentially how the episode ends. They try and cheer him up. Or, that half of the episode ends, anyway. Anyway, the next part of the episode, Get the Message, is slightly cliche. Though I don't get the whole point of the whole game. Apparently Lincoln's playing a game, which means that he has to twerk? That's what it looked like to me, anyway. It's a virtual reality kind of game where you fight monsters by twerking at them? I don't get it. Anyway, he ends up running into his sister's room, which apparently is not allowed in her eyes. And she ends up breaking his game by accident. And because of this, he ends up leaving her a mean and angry message on her cell phone. Which apparently he ends up cursing in it because it's all censored. Because his sister's playing the guitar really loudly, so we can't hear what he says. But apparently it's really bad because his friend faints after hearing it. So, yeah, it must be cursing. And actually, when he talks, he said he called her it's censored, so we can't hear what he said. I'm guessing he called her a bitch? I don't know. And sorry for the cuss word if any kids are watching this. I apologize, but that's what I assume he said. Because it was censored, obviously, so it had to be a bad word. Or as close to a bad word as it could get for a kid's show, anyway. Anyway, he and his friend try and find the phone so they can go and delete the message before she hears it. And he gives a rundown of how it should go, except for the fact that Lori ends up flirting with Leon. Which, obviously, from what I can tell, she would never do, from the one encounter I saw. And they try and make it go out like that, but nope, didn't happen. She found her phone when it was done charging, and left with it, but thankfully she ended up deleting the message before she heard anything bad, because apparently he wasn't supposed to call her phone either. Which, yeah, very controlling, girl. But he didn't get off the hook for that, because she found the angry letter that he had left, you know, where it had it all written down of what he was going to say, and her name was on it. So, yeah, he got in trouble for that. And that's essentially how the episode went. I guess the reason that they didn't go with the idea of him failing and going to watch it at his friend's house instead, because that would have made so much more sense. Especially with that many people in the house, you would think that they would do that, especially since they both like the show. That's what I would have suggested they do, because then he would be away from his sisters, they would have complete privacy and control over the TV, and I don't know, they could have hung out and had a good time. I don't get why they didn't do that. Then again, I guess they wouldn't have an episode if they did that, now would they? Anyway, yeah, ignore the beeping in the background. It's my Discord going up where people are putting new messages in. Anyway, if you guys are actually fans of The Loud House, feel free to subscribe because I'm going to go through this whole series. And once I get caught up in it, I will pick up another show to go along with it because once I'm caught up, I only have like one episode per whatever, like I do with My Hero Academia on my main channel. And also, if you're a fan of anime, head to my main channel because I have anime reactions on there, and I'll put a link to my main channel in the description as well so you can check it out. And like I said, if you like the show, feel free to subscribe. I'm not making you, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Oh.